Hey, Mom! Now, this may seem like a simple observation, but I noticed you made the bed for me when I got home from like 2 months of traveling the country. This wasn't the sort of quickly throw a blanket on the mattress and call it a day kind of strategy that I tend to use, but a genuinely loving, tuck you into bed and kiss you goodnight sort of fold. And after 35 hours straight of driving, it was like sleeping on a bed of roses and clouds. But it got me thinking. How long was it sitting there, ready made and waiting for a kiddo to come home? How often did you look at the empty bed and miss your daughter? How many times did you love a daughter who wasn't even home? And how many times did you love me while I wasn't even looking? I nestled myself into the familiar mattress and laid on my right side facing you. As usual, you couldn't sleep, so the blinding blue light of your iPhone illuminated the ceiling as you scrolled Facebook, desperately trying to catch some shut-eye. It struck me how familiar this sight was. I was so used to your insomnia that I expected you to be awake when I opened the door at 3 a.m., and was confused when you weren't. I took for granted that there was food on the fridge, shampoo in the shower, and a chessboard on the living room table. And hey, the bed was made. In a childhood filled with crazy, complicated shit where the only constant is change, I always expected you to be there. Even though our house has changed, and your hair color changed, and our schools changed, you were always there. You and your goddamn blinding blue iPhone light. I rolled over in the bed towards the wall so you wouldn't see the few tears that had, I hate to admit it, escaped my eyes. I knew I needed to show you how you've impacted me throughout the course of my life, but I didn't quite know how. I also felt massive amounts of guilt for having been gone for so long and always popping in and out of the house at odd hours, no questions asked. It wasn't until the next night that I remembered the litany of Facebook birthday posts you've written for me. You'd write a numbered list of advice that was about as long as my age. I have expected you to forget about the list as it grew progressively year by year, but you always remembered. Well, hell, of course you did. You were always there. Anyway, I was thinking I could write a birthday gift for you, long before your next birthday, simply because you gave birth to me, and, well, every day is a reminder that you gave birth to me. So, in a way, every day is your birthday. I don't know. Don't think about it too hard. But without further ado, here are 19 things I've learned from you. Number 1. Appreciate the people who care about you. I've learned from you that one of the hardest lessons someone can learn is that blood doesn't necessarily mean family. Thankfully, I've won the lottery of birth, and everyone around me has been good for me, but I'm acutely aware that just because someone is related to me, that doesn't necessarily mean they're good. I've used this as a tool to avoid taking advantage of the people related to me who do care about me, because they don't have to. You have helped me cultivate gratitude for you, obviously, but also all of the people who care about me. Number 2, never lie. This one is very straightforward. Number 3, it's okay to be bad at some things, even managing money. You always seem to scrape by somehow, so it must not be that important. Number 4, no matter how broken, you can always repair relationships. Sometimes I wonder if you should have gone into engineering. You always seem to fix things. Number 5, it's okay to criticize someone smarter than you. Number 6, as long as you do it nicely. Number 7, don't have kids in your 20s. Now, this tip may seem a little counterintuitive given that I was born while you were 22, so don't take this the wrong way. I am absolutely endlessly grateful for having been born. But I also know how much having kids held you back. I recognize all the sacrifices you've made for me, and I intend to repay each and every one. Number 8, not that I have low standards, but I do think that if you go into a situation expecting the worst, you're either going to be right or pleasantly surprised. I didn't really learn this from you. You have far exceeded my expectations from others, but I thought it'd be nice to include. I've saved myself from many disappointments this way. Number 9. Academic knowledge is not always the most important type of knowledge. Given that I already know everything, I'm a teenager after all, I've grown to value emotional intelligence far above academic success. How much you know barely matters to me, compared to whether you're a good person. And yes, I say this to someone who's currently getting their PhD. I hope you don't take this too personally. Number 10. Life is too short to be little, so dream big. Mom, you and your crappy genetics have cursed me with needing a step stool for the rest of my life, so I've had to compensate for my height, or lack thereof, in other ways. My unparalleled genius is one of them, and my humility is another. Number 11. If it really matters, it won't really change. It'll just evolve. Kinda like Will's hair over the years. Number 12. Related. Do not fear change. Fear never changing. I think we're all glad he didn't stick with the awkward, super long and combed to the side retro style. Number 13. Comparison is the thief of joy. I've watched you and myself compare ourselves to other women, from ex's new girlfriends to Dolly Parton. You are beautiful and amazing all on your own, and you don't need other women to fail or succeed in order to validate your own accomplishments. I mean, after all, there's a reason all my friends have a crush on you. Number 14. However dark it is, the sunshine is right where you are. You have a way of making everyone around you ease up a little bit. You make other people comfortable. While I don't think I got too many of your genes, thankfully, I think I might have gotten this one, and I'm endlessly grateful for it. Number 15. Monitor your damn blood pressure. Number 16. Assume people are telling the truth, unless they give you a reason to distrust them. I spent enough time out of the house past 2 a.m. to know that your lenience was a privilege I had earned, not the result of your negligence. I have similarly applied this logic to my friendships and relationships. Whatever you do is your business, unless you have a questionable track record. Then you're a dead bitch. Yeah. 17. It's okay to road trip to Seattle on 2 days' notice. Just make sure you send a few texts along the way. Number 18. Impulsivity is great. Go. Stupidity is not so great. So don't be stupid, idiot. Number 19. Making these numbered lists isn't as hard as it looks. Anyway, lightheartedness aside, thank you for nurturing my traveling spirit. The freedom you gave me allowed me to figure out who I am long before other kids did, and I grew as a person because of it. I may always be traveling, but I promise I'll always come home, as long as you promise to keep making the bed.